Hello friends, it's Simone, your favorite neighborhood nerd, with week 3 of February 2025, where I ink one pen each day. I am using my ink samples that I have received from friends over the past 2 years-ish. And yeah, I want to use them and see how I like them. And that's why I do this challenge. I have to admit that right now, as we speak, it is Saturday, February 22nd, and I cannot wait to be done. I have so many pens inked, which is okay. I'm not really concerned about that, but inking a pen every day and writing with it in my journal does take away time, and I'm really looking forward to doing something else in these maybe 30 minutes that it takes. It's not really that overwhelming, but it's just the constant repetition, doing it every single day. Wow, what is this? This is irritating me right now. Okay, sorry. The constant repetition, having to set aside 30 minutes-ish every day adds up over time, and I'm noticing that I'm ready to move on. But I do want to finish this out. There's some amazing inks coming up in the next week, and so I can do this for one more week, but I'm not so sure if I'm going to continue doing this or repeating this challenge anytime soon. I think I said that in October as well, and then here we are in February doing it again. So these are the pens that I inked this past week. This is Friday, this is Saturday. I swatched them in my ink journal. This is the Hobonichi blank notebook that I purchased this past September. It is Sanzen Tomoe River paper. Same. This is the journal that I'm using. I'm writing in here every day. This is an A6 Hobonichi Hone from 2024. This is also Sanzen Tomoe River paper. There is supposedly a difference between this paper and that paper. Both of them work well for me right now. Fingers crossed. And so I swatch the ink. I use a paintbrush with water to get some, to pull out some of the chromo shading. It's not really working. Maybe there's not a lot of color in here, or I'm doing something wrong. That could be too. I write what ink I put in the pen, or what ink I'm swatching, the pen that I put it in, the nib, and then I journal in my journal, which is an A6 page. And then after I'm done with the journaling, I write my summary, my impression of what I think about this specific pen and ink combination. Usually I write about the ink color, then I write about how it writes in the pen, and then I write about the comfort level of the pen. And then I give those 3 aspects of this experiment challenge a grade between 1 and 10. They're quite random. I'm not using any specific parameters. And that's it, basically. And then I put the pen into my rickshaw pen case. And then if I have the time, and if I'm writing a letter, or if I'm doing anything else with the pen, I'm using it again. But usually, because I'm not really having a lot of time, that's the only time I use the pen. And then at the end of this month, beginning of March, I will go through and see which pen is still writing, which pen I'm still excited about, and these are the pens that I'm then carrying over into the month of March. But we're not there yet. We're talking about the pens that I used this past week. Here is an overview of the ink colors. Saturday all the way through to Friday. It's a lot of blues, a lot of blue-greens. So on Saturday, February 15th, and I think I showed in my last video, I showed how I inked up this pen. I put J. Herbin Vert Atlantide that I received from my friend Roxy into this Skogsy Choya with a 14 millimeter section, I believe. And the blank that it is made out of is from Enigma Stationery. And the nib that is in here is a journaler nib that I purchased secondhand on the virtual pen show. It is an older nib from Esterbrook in silver. I will be putting in writing samples in my ink log that I will show you now, and then we will start with the actual program here. So every pen that I ink, I log in here. I put the date that I ink it, put a writing sample, what pen it is, what ink it is, and then these figure eights. Then I've done this since last summer, I believe. This is an A4 Mnemosyne Maruman Mnemosyne notebook. That is horizontal. The layout is horizontal. And so I got this idea from Candice on Inks and Anchors over on Instagram, part of the Gourmet Pens podcast. So I'm stamping the date that I ink it, and then when I unink it, I stamp the date here. So I started it last summer, and I've been logging these pens in here. It's quite interesting for me to see how long I have pens inked. So I'm not keeping up with this during the week, and so I'm showing you a writing sample while I'm talking about my experience with the pen and ink. So I did not expect this color to be so dark and green, and I also don't know if I necessarily need the shimmer on the ink. What I do know is that the ink works well in the nib and that the journaler is smooth, rounded enough for me to work well. I think the thing I don't like about nibs like this is how easily a change in writing can be seen. I might tilt my head. What the fuck? Nib slightly, and it looks as if a different person wrote the second part. Not cool. The pen is absolute love. I want more. Yeah, I really am very enamored with the craftsmanship of the Skogsy pens, and I am definitely going to check them, keep them top of mind when I'm looking for another hand-turned pen. I love seeing what they make. They're just my style, and so I really would love to get another one of those. The ink I gave a 4, the flow a 10, the pen a 10, because this is just so lovely. On Sunday, February 16th, I inked up my Pelikan M800 in blue stripe. This is an older model that I purchased secondhand with Sailor 50 States, California. I got this ink from my friend Amanda B. Inksplat. She has a YouTube channel on here as well. This color is so good. Some slight sheen and a dark and moody teal. Love it. Unfortunately, I spilled the whole sample. The ink flows well from the pen. I still have some hard starting issues. Maybe it's baby's bottom. The pen is amazing. The medium nib is so good. I gave the ink a 10, I gave the flow a 10, and I gave the pen a 10. However, I really do need to take this to a Nibmeister when I go to the San Francisco Pen Show in August to have them look at it. If I'm doing something wrong, if something is wrong with the nib, or if I'm just not using the correct inks in here. This is not a pen that I am going to move along, but this is a pen that I would love to have looked at because it feels like there is some dryness in the upstrokes. When I hold it at a certain angle, there is some dryness, and I don't think that's normal for this specific type of pen. Monday, February 17th, I inked my Lamy 2000 that has gone through various different nib iterations. I purchased it with an extra fine nib. Then I had a fine nib on it, and then this is a medium nib now. I used Birmingham Pen Co. Snowflake that I received from my friend Pamela. Wowie, I really like this ink color. It's so bright, but also so blue, and I love blue. Also, not so bright that it will hurt my eyes. The flow out of this nib is great. I really enjoy the medium nib on the pen, but I'm noticing that I'm easily death gripping it. So I need to pay more attention when writing to ease up on the hold. I gave the ink a 10, I gave the flow a 10, I gave the pen only an 8 because I am having a death grip situation very often, very easily. And also this is a piston pen, and I prefer pens that have very easy access to cartridge or converter because the cleaning is just so much easier. But I do love how this pen looks. It's just so simple, understated, and I love putting bright colors in it all the time. Tuesday, February 18th, I inked my Leonardo Memento Zero Grande in Primary Manipulation Light with a medium number 8 titanium nib. Look at this chunker of a nib. Can you focus, please? It has an ebonite feed and as I said, a medium nib with Taccia Sabi Midori that I received from my friend Casey. Wow, how do I not have a bottle of this ink? Because I already have a bottle of Teranishi Gentle Green. That's probably why. Maybe when Teranishi Gentle Green is empty, I will... Maybe when Teranishi Gentle Green is empty, I will replace it with a bottle of Sabi Midori. Not sure yet. This nib is so good, so smooth and flowy, but also has some feedback. And the pen is so beautiful, has an amazing color, and is extremely comfortable. I think this is even more comfortable than my Pelicans. I've given my Pelican pens 10s, I believe. Both of them. No, this one got a 9.5. But the medium nib that I just talked about got a 10. But this one, I think, is even more comfortable than the Blue Stripe or even any other of my Pelican pens. This is just the perfect size for my hand, and this nib is just so ginormous. I love it. I gave the ink a 10, the flow a 10, and the pen a 10, and I wrote underneath, winner, winner, winner. Yeah, this is really hard to top. And if I'm just thinking about what other pen would I want to get, then maybe, because this is such a winner, 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 this would be the next great pen that I would get. We'll see. Not right now, but definitely something that I need to keep in mind. Every time I use this, it feels just great. Wednesday, February 19th, I inked my Pilot Custom 743 in Verdigris with a medium 14 karat gold nib. Ah, friends, why is it so hard to focus? There we go. With Troublemaker Starry Night Blue that I received from my friend Roxy, this ink has a gold shimmer and red sheen, and it is teal. It reminds me actually of Sailor 50 States California. It just doesn't have, in the color, it just doesn't have any shimmer or sheen, the 50 States California. So this is another teal dark blue ink with some red sheen and gold shimmer. And it's nice, but another one of those that I don't have to own. The ink flows nicely from the pen, but I don't think I see much shimmer in the writing. Let me hold this up and look at it. No shimmer at all in the writing. Besides, when I just inked it, there is some gold shimmer to be seen in basically the description up here, but nothing in the review that I wrote in the evening after I inked the pen in the morning. I don't think I see much shimmer in the writing, and the pen is just so good to write with. I love the shape, the color, the feeling in my hand, and it's a cartridge converter pen. So yeah, I have given a lot of high marks for all of the pens that I have written with this past week. I gave the ink a 6, I gave the flow a 10, and I gave the pen a 10. I think the flow I should probably grade down because I don't see any shimmer after using it. So maybe a 9 would be better because of the shimmer. Let me see if yeah. I have an idea too. I need to bring out some of my inks and I want to swatch them next to some of them because I feel like I have colors that look so similar. So Waterman Harmonious Blue was inked on Thursday into my Benu Atlas Stationers collab. Wow. You know how weird this is when you speak a different language that is not your origin language or mother tongue, and you know how it should sound, but then you hear yourself talk and you hear how not correctly you are pronouncing the word that you wanted to say and you heard correctly in your head. That's something. Sometimes that's happening to me. So Atlas Stationer collab, Gold Coast. This is such a lovely pen. I love it. I got this ink from my friend Marilyn. I'm not sure this ink works for me, but also not sure if I dislike it. I'm not able to form a good opinion on this ink. That's mainly because I've only seen it in dim lighting and all of these blues, teals fade into one. I really like the swatch, but I'm not sure that I like how it looks when it's written with. Maybe that's better. I really like the flow and the Schmidt nibs. I really need to not use the word really so often. I really need to do a proper comparison with the same nib size and the same ink. And I'm talking about JoWo versus Schmidt, to see if my claim that I like Schmidt nibs more is justified. Also, I really like holding Benu Euphorias. This one is really nice. I gave the ink an 8. I gave the flow a 10. I gave the pen a 9 because I really love it, but the section is just a tiny bit too narrow to be amazing. And that's why it has a 9. So I gave the ink an 8, the flow a 10, the pen a 9, and then I wrote reverse with this pen nib and I put underneath, oh, reverse writing is so good with this nib. On Friday, so yesterday, I inked my Nagasawa Gierske in gold with a broad nib. This is a Sailor Pro Gear that is branded for the Nagasawa company, Nagasawa stationery store. I love the finial on this pen. This is the Kobe ink bottles, if you haven't seen those before. And this is what I wrote about. Oh, I inked it with Nagasawa Kobe number 29 Nagata Blue. Oh my gosh, this swatch is so nice. However, I don't really like the look of the ink in a pen, I think. This is where I'm starting to not being so sure about any of the ink colors that I am using this past week. They're all blue. They're all so very similar. I mean, yes, this is a very dark blue-black ink, and it's not the same as California 50 States, Sailor 50 States California, which is definitely a teal. But still, when they write, they're just dark. And especially when you're writing in dim lighting, they blur to be the same, and you can't really discern one from the other. And so I'm starting to question, like, as I've done very often lately, is why do I really have to have so many different colors of ink if you cannot, if you can't really see a difference when it's darker, dim lighting outside? It just need to be in the evening in front of the TV with some background lighting on, nothing bright daylight lamp, and it's like the same color. So now that I'm looking at it right now, reading in daylight, I'm like, oh yeah, this is a really nice color. So I find it quite boring. I do think I had quite a few other pens with blue-black. Not in fountain pens though, more in those gel pens. But in a fountain pen where I can have all the colors, I don't know, man. The pen is fabulous, the flow is great, the nib is awesome, have nothing bad to say. So I gave the ink a 7. I probably wouldn't buy a whole full bottle of this ink. Maybe it's the broad nib that is putting me off. I would love to see this in a fine as well. I gave the flow a 10 and I gave the pen a 9.5 for the same reason, basically, that I gave this one a 9. The section is just a little bit too narrow. Now, hold on. I brought out some of the ink bottles that I have in my stash to see if they compare, because as I said, I always have the feeling that I probably have this ink in my stash already. This one is Diamine Twilight. I think it leans a little bit more green. And what I really like about this Kobe Nagata Blue is the black red-ish sheen. Just looks very interesting. Which this one, I'm not saying this one doesn't, and probably in the writing you're not able to see it, but in the swatch there is a little bit more interest. But then when I'm writing with a pen, I'm not using swatches, so I don't really need to pay attention to what the swatches look like. I forgot the paper towel. And then I also brought out Pink Cliff. I think it's called only Cliff. This is the 2024 special edition ink, I believe. I believe it's a special edition or limited edition ink. And now, whoa, do not want to drop or spill any of this ink. Okay. Oh, this is very good for my Well, this is more ultramarine than blue black cliff. Okay, I can see a difference, but these two are very, very similar. So then I think Tsukiyo is too green leaning already, especially like looking at Twilight, that is supposed to be a blue black, but I'm just gonna swatch it right there as well. Maybe it's even too bright. I don't know. Did I get any of my nib yet? Yes, now I got some. Oh yeah, way too blue. This is Tsukiyo. It's okay. Just gonna put this right here. Yeah, it's actually closer to the Harmonious Blue than it is to the really, really dark blue-gray, blue-black from yesterday. Wow, I did not expect this. Let me just bring this swatch closer. I really, really, really love what is happening in this swatch. There's some teal underlying aspects. The thing is, I just don't see it in the writing, and that's the problem. But if you are looking for a blue like this and you don't have one in your stash, totally go and get Waterman Harmonious Blue, because Waterman inks are really good inks and they are so affordable. They don't make any problems. They clean out so nicely out of all of those pens that I have used them in. So I can highly recommend Waterman inks as an ink of choice. So let me put some blotting paper here so we can go over to this side, because I do have some more inks. I want to see Sioro. Oh, I wanted to bring out Gentle Green as well. Sorry. So this is an ink that I purchased after one of my swatch. I'm so weak right now. There we go. After one of my ink challenges last year, 2024. So where am I going to put those swatches? Because maybe I'm just going to start right here. This is Sioro. This is actually closer than I thought it would be. I do still have Kujaku here and Konpeki. Konpeki I don't believe is even close to this. What I like about this again is the red sheen. This is so weird because I usually don't like sheening inks. I hope you're okay with me testing all of those inks out here and exploring this a little bit further than I do during the week. This is I just don't have time for these swatches and pulling out all of those inks during the week. I'm glad when I'm feeding all of the family, when I'm taking care of the dog, when the cats are clean and fed, and when I get enough sleep. That's how this works for me right now. It seems like California, if I were to mix these two 1-to-1, I think this is what we get from it. Kujaku. I wonder if it's pronounced Kujaku or Kuyaku. This is, yeah, it's like if we have a scale of the colors, you would have Syoro, then you'd have California, then you have Kujaku, then you have Snowflake. They're like just in between those colors. So if you have Sabi Midori and you have Teranishi Gentle Green, tell me if I need both. Nah, I don't. I need to stop buying all the things. So let me grab Konpeki. I believe that Konpeki is actually so much bluer. There's not a lot of... What? I mean, I'm glad that these seal so well, but also, man. Yeah, so blue. Konpeki. I'm not going to even swatch this. This is way too light. But I think if I were to mix any of the, like 50-50, any of the Iroshizuku inks that I have, I would probably get these colors from them. I might need to invest in California because I really like that. So last ink that I'm going to swatch is Teranishi Gentle Green. If I can find the box for the ink. And yes, I know you might call me crazy. I am keeping all of the boxes of the inks that I have because I am really trying to keep the light away from them. And if I choose to not store them in a drawer anymore, but maybe on the shelf, I need the packaging for it in order to be doable for me. Oh, that's the Gentle Green. Do you think, I think this is bluer in the base than this. But yeah, okay. Thank you. No, I'm not done yet. Am I done? I don't know. Let me think. Am I done? And I remember why I'm not finishing out the video yet. We need to ink Saturday's pen and swatch the ink. Oh my goodness. Yeah, so here we are. Today is Saturday, February 22nd, as I mentioned before. Today. So let me know if you're planning on doing a 30 inks 30 days challenge. I know I'm doing it in the month with 28 days, but in theory it's basically a similar challenge. How you're going to approach it? Are you going to participate in the one in March? Well, obviously I am not. And yeah, what are you gonna do it differently than me? The first time that I participated, I transcribed a blog post even. I can't even imagine how much, oh wow. Interesting. So the ink that I'm using is Sailor something, Witch by Starlight. I believe this is a Goulet Pens exclusive. I received a sample from my friend Nanda. Let me grab some water to pull out some of the ink color here. It's drying really quickly though. But this is definitely a bluish purple, purple blue. Wow. On here it's purple. Colorverse, it's not, but I think it's Colorverse, which by Starlight is for, I don't know. I don't know. I need to Google that because I have no idea who. I thought it was a Goulet exclusive, but maybe it's not. I want to see what it looks like when it pulls out some of the ink, man. This is beautiful. Ooh, moody and beautiful. And I think I picked the perfect pen to go with this. And I actually don't remember what this pen is called. This is a Sailor 1911 large in, oh yeah, it's Wicked Witch of the West. It's a really dark purple as well, and I can't, it seems like you can't really see the color here, at least what I can see of the screen. It's a really dark purple and it goes well, perfectly well with this pen. I also swatch my inks in this binder here, and this is definitely a blue violet for sure. So I shouldn't have cleaned my pipette, but no, if you don't have your brain fully with you at all times, then that's what happens. So I would love to have a huge catalog of inks in this. Well, now I feel like I should put it with the blues. So what I started doing is, if I'm not sure or if I think I should put it in a different color categories, it gets cataloged twice because nobody can tell me what I can and cannot do. So if I choose to document it in 2 different colors, then that's what's happening. Wow, this is pretty, so beautiful. Wow. Colorverse, which by Star, what is the shimmer that is in there? Starlight. I hope it is visible when I write with it because that would be so cool. I wonder how it performs in a pen. Just in general, is it flowing well? Is it a dry ink? So now let's fill the pen and then do a little teeny tiny writing sample. Oh no! Okay. This is what happens again when you don't use your brain to think. It's just because I'm filming a video. This is not how usually things happen to me. No, this is just on video. So yes, where was I? I was going to ink the pen. That is what I'm doing, the action, but the talking was, yes, are you planning on participating one time? Are you doing it as much as involved as I am doing it? Are you just swatching the ink? There's nothing wrong with just swatching the ink either, you know. Why is there nothing coming in here? This is not cool. I don't like this. There we go. Let's just do this one more time because I want a full fill of this ink. Because wow, is this beautiful. Okay. What? This is a silver shimmer, maybe a purple. I would love to know. I will definitely be back one more time with the week from February 22nd to February 28th, and then maybe another time to share what I learned or didn't learn. I'm not sure if I want to do that or not. Depending on my mood, I might or I might not. So this is a broad nib. And it's weird how that happens. Witch by Starlight. Wow, there's a thing in here. Light. These 2 broad nibs are not the same. Like I was a little hesitant. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, Amanda. I was a little hesitant with getting this secondhand because it has a broad nib, but it's different enough so that I can justify to myself why I need both. Sailor 1911 large, which by Starlight. No. Is she here even? Hello? Knock knock. Is the brain here? No. Wicked Witch of the West. Why is the Wicked Witch of the West purple? I have no idea. Broad. So I guess I will write my review of this pen and ink combination. Oh my gosh. Maybe I will. I'm gonna Google and see where this ink is from and where I can buy it, because this might be one that I actually need to own. So again, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for enduring all of my shenanigans. I hope to see you again next Saturday for the last installment of this 28 Inks, 28 Pens series. I am enjoying it, and at the same time looking forward to being done with it. I hope to see you again soon. Until then, bye!